welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I'm Agam Vakil. Let's take a look at how the markets have fared today, and not very well. In fact, we are looking at a 70-point drop for the benchmark indices, the Nifty specifically. In fact, 78 points to be precise, and back at the levels of around 11,234.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you have it. Well, but among the other gainers, we have Bharti Airtel, which is up around 4.5%. Grasim and Reliance Industries is also up and about. And we'll talk about the telecom industry in just a bit. HUL is also up as much as 1.6%. On the losing end, IndusInd Bank down 6%. On the back of earnings, we're going to be addressing those. Yes Bank, GAIL, as well as Tata Motors and Vedanta all weighing down on the indices. Well, as when it comes to the advanced decline ratio on the NSE 500, and a complete reversal of what we saw yesterday, and just one gainer for two losers out there on the NSE 500. Vodafone Idea, of course, advancing. We do have Bandhan Bank also up for 5.5%, with Wockhardt and Parag Milk Foods along with CCL products up and about. But on the losing end, Indiabulls Housing Finance, that's down 19%. Gen Irrigation, Diwan Housing Finance and Indiabulls Ventures among some of the usual suspects on the losing end, along with RBL Bank. But on that note, let me get in our markets editor, Neeraj Shah, for his thoughts. Well, Neeraj, I don't know to what extent the decline was, factored in, but Indiabulls Housing Finance, of course, was one of the other key highlights today. What's your reading of today's trade?
Difficult to gauge this, right? Because we were talking about this yesterday, that it was quite difficult to figure out why there was this sudden 3.5-4% up move. So there's a bit of a pullback that has happened today. IndusInd Bank numbers don't inspire too much of confidence, and Indiabulls move as well. Not that it has a big bearing on the bank Nifty, but down about 18-19%. So not all skeletons out of the woods as yet. But today, a lot of other corporate-facing banks, as you've already highlighted, have corrected a bit. So a bit of a bank Nifty pullback, I reckon, which has led to this, because even HDFC Bank was down about 2%.
Right.
I guess what we all can do is best hope for your sector to start delivering a little bit, and that improves the sentiment a little bit. Because otherwise there's not much to watch out for now for the next few days. Even the announcement today from the government is more on the government's instruments and not really a reform of sorts. So I think we wait for TCS today and Infosys tomorrow to try and see if there's some helping hand that the second largest weighted sector can give.
Absolutely. Well, Neeraj, thanks for that perspective there. So there you have it. But speaking of that, speaking of some gainers today, let's talk about the telecommunications sector, because we did see gains, and this is following, well, a small move from Reliance Industries. Let me get in Somit Sarkar to tell us a little more about that. Somit, what are the updates here?
So what you know is what Reliance did is they started charging customers to recover the interconnect usage charges that they were paying. Now they have introduced plans, that is IUC tariff vouchers in the range of around 10 to 100 rupees, and this is an indirect kind of a tariff hike that they have done in the telecom industry, and this is for the first time that Reliance Jio has started charging for voice usage to its customers. Now what brokerages believe, now UBS has come out with its estimate, and it believes that because of this there would be a positive EBITDA impact of around 13 to 15% on Bharti Airtel, 55 to 60% on Vodafone Idea, and around 32 to 36% for Reliance Jio. And Axis Cap believes that this IUC pass-through may change industry dynamics, and it could be the key trigger for re-rating for the entire industry. And they believe that the incumbents, that is Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea, will also follow what Jio has now introduced, that is passing on and recovering this interconnect usage charges from consumers. So they're expecting Bharti Airtel and Vodafone Idea to do also similar kind of stuff, and that's the reason you have seen such kind of move in Bharti Airtel, Reliance Industries, Vodafone Idea, and Grasim Industries, as it holds shares in Vodafone Idea because of no capital allocation issues. The stock also ran up close to 4% in trade today.
Okay, fair enough, Somit. Thanks for that. Of course, this clearly means that well, it's open season when it comes to the telecommunications space and voice specifically. But on that note, let's also discuss IndusInd Bank. Earnings have come through, and we have Shefali Malik here, who's joining us to take us through the numbers. Shefali, how were the numbers?
Well, the headline numbers were in line with the expectations when we talk about the NII and the PAT numbers, and even the headline asset quality, the gross and the net NPAs. But some of the internals actually looked weak or lower than expectations. Loan growth came in at roughly about 21%. So analyst fraternity, they were building in something around 25 to 28 odd %. So lower than expectations. So that was one key disappointment. The corporate banking book degrew. So that was one of the reasons why the loan growth growth was lower than expectations. Margins were strong, primarily aided by the book of Bharat Financial, which is a high yielding one, but 4.1% number was being built in. Then other than that, if you go into the internals of the asset quality, the slippages were in excess of 1,100 crores versus a 725 in the same in the first quarter. That is on a sequential basis. And SMA 2 accounts, which is special mention accounts, they saw quite a bit of a jump to about 58 basis points versus 17 on a sequential basis. So first SMA 1 accounts also saw a jump, and then SMA 2 accounts have also seen a jump in this particular quarter. And the provisioning coverage ratio, the tax cut that has happened, the management actually used that to shore up its provisioning coverage ratio from 43% to about 50% this time around. Okay. So mixed sort of internals coming in, and we need to watch out for the asset quality. In some of the books, they've seen deterioration. There's a sharp jump that has come in the microfinance book. So some of these factors are there, because of which probably the stock took a knock this time around.
Okay, Shefali, thanks for getting us those updates. So that's IndusInd Bank for you. And well, as Neeraj just suggested, we are also keeping an eye on TCS earnings. Moving into tomorrow, we'll have yet another IT giant, Infosys, report earnings as well. And of course, we'll continue to give you updates on the same. But on that note, it's a wrap on the markets. But lots more lined up. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.